All right, everybody, welcome back to this is the season 3 now. We're going to be doing power rankings for Mary the Acolyte division. I'm Dr. Geo. With me is,
The Sharkfinnigan.
and we're going to be covering all the teams. We're going to talk about things we like, things we don't like, things that look cool, and we'll give it a ranking 1 out of 10, and then somewhere there at the end we'll take a look and just see who's first. These are just for fun. Um, Historically, my power rankings have been known off. So, buyers beware. But maybe
Exactly.
maybe there be some fun to be had anyway. These are some pretty cool teams. We were looking at them a little bit before we started recording. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, like we got 14 teams to get to. So without further ado, we're just gonna kind of jump into it. So this first team is Bloop's team. This is the what's his team name? I have my cheat sheet, but it
I should have
unloaded.
that. The Moody Marshadow.
The Moody Marshadow. Okay. So on this team, I'll go ahead and introduce it real quick. We have Iron Bundle, Latios, Great Tusk, Agislash, Enamorous Therian, Mega Beedrill, Mandibuzz, Lantern, Magmortar, and Regigigas. So this is quite the team. I really like the speed tiers kind of first off. Like Mega
Uh,
Beedrill to like really bring things home, and then the bundle to Latios is super cool. And
don't be fooled. Regigigas is a Phantom 100 speed tier here
true, it's
because of
a
slow
false start.
starts.
All
So
right.
there's actually a little bit of a gap there. It looks pretty on paper, but that is the one thing I notice about this team is like Regigigas is not a 100 speed tier
That's true.
unless you sub protect for 5 turns.
I you're absolutely right. I was fooled. I was fooled by it. So all right, we go from
But it's not bad though. It's still pretty good. A decent middle, but it's just that 100 tier, which is one of the big tiers you want to have something like right at or around. Yeah, that's
yeah.
kind of
Um.
like ooh.
So we go from 110 to 87. That's a little rough actually, because there's a lot of like 108s that'll just. I, I don't know where the cutoff is for like a 108 to go modest or adamant, but like that feels like you can make
Yeah,
that.
it just yeah, I think you could definitely be able to sneak like if the 108's not trying to outspeed Latios and just outspeeding Great Tusk, then yeah, it could go very bulky for sure.
Yeah, that's
Honestly, go
that's the other
modest
thing.
most of the time.
But okay, so that's like the one thing that sticks out speed tier wise at first. This team has a lot of power. Like between like the Mega Beedrill and the Great Tusk, and then on the other side, Latios and Iron Bundle, like hitting hard. Um,
Yeah,
Agislash too, and
and it's got some good bulk with Aegislash, Tusk, and Therian. And
and
Amorous Therian
Mandibuzz.
being the Terra on this team is a very good pick.
I really like
Very
that
good
as
pick.
a just a nice Terra captain because it has a great move pool.
It has a really stupidly good move pool, and it can be able to Terra to the right height too, just to be able to take just to still be able to take advantage of it too because of its coverage.
Yeah, or just kind of
So
be an annoying wall too, like. But you've got the Mandibuzz Lantern core for like physical special. I kind of really like those two together as well, like to be a
mm-hmm.
backbone. Agislash is bulky, but its bulk is there to take a hit, get a hit off.
Mm-hmm.
Bundle has fake bulk where like it's got great defense and poor SPDF, but like its bulk's really only there to like take a hit so it can get a hit off. It's never gonna
Uh, but it's
do more
still
than
like
that.
honestly having the physical defense is good for things like bullet punch, mock punch, sucker punch, all those
Yeah,
priority moves that might come in. It can actually take a hit or two, which
that's
is
true.
really good here.
That is true. Um,
Like those are the things you pay attention to with the fast guys. It's like you got to can you live those priority hits and
so I guess one of the things I'm not digging so much is like the hazard play on this team is like so you've got Great Tusk and Mega Beedrill and that's it, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
you just kind of you got a lot of good you got decent hazard control with Mandibuzz and Great Tusk being the primary ones.
Yeah, but like
But still,
has.
you.
Go ahead.
But yeah, still, if you're with Iron Bundle, you're trying to, pick things apart. You
And
know, of,
and like sometimes depending on the team comp, rocks just aren't enough. Because like if steel types will come in and a layer of spikes can really kind of speed that up. But yeah, but other times, sometimes the toxic spikes are all you need. So like, not gonna knock the team for not having spikes. It can be a little hard to fit it in when like you go for your steel type being Agislash, and with the way Gen 9's working out, your ground type, because ground types are spikers now. It's great Tusk. You
mm-hmm.
just like with those two mons kind of selected, your options for spikers are bug types really, and you went for the Mega Beedrill, so now you kind of locked yourself out of spikes,
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're like it's only missing two types, grass and rock. I, I don't really feel like grass is all that super important to have.
This team has a decent amount of flyers, and it's
Yeah,
not
like
like it's ground weak or anything. It's got a good. I think with Latios as well being the pseudo flying type, I don't think having grass is a necessity on this.
right. I mean, I guess with Lantern too, you're not super weak to electric attacks. Like that's like the only other thing I can think of for having grass is nice. And
Yeah.
you have the bundle, so like water water spam's not even all that scary. But like that's the other thing. Mag Mortar's kind of cool as a mon. Like if you need
Yeah.
just a big fire nuke.
Yeah,
Regigigas
and
is
it has a
silly.
decent. Just it could slap on an AV pretty well as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got some bulk. It could do well. It's
Um,
got some bulk and utility in there.
Regigigas is silly. It's not a real
I
mon.
mean, it's a good bulky normal type for
You,
sure.
you have to
It's a
like
fun mon
I
to
think right
use.
now when it comes to normal types, you almost just have to ask yourself, can this normal type 1v1 Spectre?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that Spectre has Draining Kiss, you definitely need to be able to
And I
have
think I
good
think
special bulk.
I think Reggie can.
Oh
So
yeah, 1,000%.
so it's only a couple points, like two. I don't think it's a one pointer. So in light of that,
Oh yeah.
it gets a pass for the team. Like that's what we're looking for the
Mm-hmm.
normals, I think, right now is can you handle Spectre? And Reggie can.
Mm-hmm.
Not maybe not easy because there's definitely sets that can counterplay against, but for all intents and purposes, it can. So how would
Mm-hmm.
you rank this team, like out of 10?
It's got some really good top. I mean, you're bringing the top three every week, and probably you're bringing a Therian every week, and then the rest you kind of probably pick and choose
Mandibuzz
based
probably
on the
comes more often
matchup.
than not as the bulky pivot.
I
So
think,
yeah, I think you're right. You're bringing
I
top
think it's
three.
got to be a 7, probably a 7 out of 10.
I
Like it's got like I really like the top,
I
and I
was
like
thinking
Therian,
I was
but I
thinking
don't
seven and
know
a
if it.
half for the like just pure offense of it. So let's split the difference. Call it 7.25.
That'll work.
All
Just
right.
like it's good, but it's just missing some redundancy on the hazards, just
Yeah.
to be able to, because you really want to be able to chip things down. You have some power, but it's just like you still want to be
Yeah,
able
you'd
to
like a little bit more.
get those KOs, so that
Yeah.
way you don't have to always specs Iron Bundle.
Or Latios. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check out the next team. This next team is Joshua of the Hopes Peaked Deoxys. There we go. There are the sprites coming in. You want to introduce this team?
Sure. We've got Chi Yu, Megalopony, Slowbro, Florges, Noivern, Zerkatree, Gengar, Donphan, Registeel, and Maractus.
All right. Yeah, this has got Chiyu, and Chiyu, I'm pretty sure, even at 18 we under tiered. It may actually be broken.
We'll see. It's the 100 speed tier is like a blessing and a curse. Like it's a
Yeah.
good speed tier, but it's just a hair slow at
I.
times, especially when you're talking about nat decks.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's just there's no switch-ins for literally nothing switches in. Um,
Yeah, there's a few,
oddly
but
enough,
yeah,
I think this is a second team that has Chi-Yu and Terra Neuvern.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't think like there's anything about the combo itself that lends it to each other than like they're good mons on their own, but like yeah, it's just cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of interesting. And
um,
Terra Neuvern's not bad. It's got good offensive abilities with it, going
yeah,
flying
I
or fire or whatever.
normal for boom burst.
Oh yeah,
Um, no, I dig it. But let's take a look at what we got. We got like your main core is gonna be Megalop, Chi-Yu, and Slowbro. That's I kind of
and
dig
you've got
this.
and you could
Like,
probably throw in Florgus most weeks as well.
depends how offensive you want to play it.
True.
But like, yeah, Florges can definitely come in. Like the Slowbro teleport just feels so dangerous with Chi-Yu.
I think so. I think that was a very good round 3 pickup for sure. Just to get that cement this core that you got this good momentum that you
I
can be able to get
I think
into a lot of powerful special breakers, like
I think I
a
don't really like.
lot of special breakers.
Yeah, I don't think I like the circuitry though on this team, to be honest with you. But like
It's
this could easily backfire on me because this is just like so overwhelming of a team on the special side that um there's like
it
yeah,
pressures a lot. It pressures hard. I mean, you want to pressure the water types that are going to go specially against you, and Circuitry will still pressure your special water walls. It
I
will
could dig
still
that.
put pressure on there.
All right, so here's a question for you that I'm noticing. Uh, does Gengar actually have toxic spikes?
It does have toxic spikes.
Did it pick it up in home or
It picked
something?
it up in this gen.
Oh, I didn't
It gives it a little bit of utility there.
like yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, just say you're running stabs most week and you can run toxic spikes in a coverage move or willow or whatever. I
yeah, pretty much. It can
okay.
just kind of do its
It's a
typical Gengar things, but then it can just
it's
throw
yeah.
toxic spikes over Trick sometimes,
Yeah, like it's not an every week, but it's a nice utility to have. Removal's fine. I Noivern and I mean one spinner, two defoggers is good.
Especially
Def-
on ones you'll probably bring most weeks. You're guaranteed at least one, maybe two.
yeah, Maractus probably comes at least once.
Once, maybe twice. It's got water absorb. It's got the spike. It might do
Yeah,
fine. The other hazards are okay.
Registeel and Slowbro is a pretty potent combo together, so they'll hang out. Those two will probably come most weeks. So I think Reggie's gonna be your main source of um hazards, which is all good.
Yeah,
Um,
no, he's got a lot of good bulk. A lot of like very focused bulk, which is good. I think here, just to kind of flip flop, you've got Floor just being the special wall. You've got Dawn Fan being a physical wall. Registeel can flip around. Slowbro, physical but can do both.
yeah, I
It's
really like
fine.
this
So
team. And Megalop to clean up like if it's missing one thing is like an actual like physical hitter other than Megalop Honey, because
yeah,
so like they're gonna be able to whatever mon it may be, they're gonna be able to pair it up to like specifically Megalop Honey. It's nice enough that you have the Slowbro, so that's like one counter out of the pool. But
mm-hmm.
like then again, this team wouldn't be scared of a Slowbro anyway with Chi-Yu. Eh, like
Yeah.
it does a
It's
casual
still, I mean, it's still
150%.
some counters. It's still good counters. It's the
Yeah,
floor just a good chi is probably one of the few good chi checks. Slowbro being a mega lop check.
yeah.
I mean,
So
he's did a decent job building this team.
yeah, I like it. That's like a pretty minor complaint. Like team feels really solid together. It has a lot of ways to get Chi-Yu in between a couple different U-turns, volts. and the main one being Slowbro Teleport, because Slowbro can come in and that like it's another special attack, but the Future Sight Teleport into Chi-Yu Dark Pulse is cool. Like if the Dark type's not coming in, then I can really put in some damage. Or if the Dark type is coming in, if that's their only way to tank the Future Sight, then just hit them with the Overheat.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think that's a pretty deadly combination. And then
I think so.
Gengar, Lopunny to clean up, or Xurkitree, what have you. This feels like a pretty well put together team.
It's just the hazards is the only thing that I think is
Yeah,
just really
but even
that
then,
you would like a little bit.
I think
Special
this
Megalop can do fine, but it doesn't quite always pick up a KO, so
it can
it
clean
needs to
though.
be chipped down.
I
It can
think
clean, but it's not going to be able to break without hazard help.
I think this team has a bit easier time of laying on direct pressure and can get away with just a single layer like of hazards of just a stealth rock than the last team. So I'm gonna rank it a little bit higher, thinking like 8.25.
Probably I was thinking more like an 8, but I can do 8.25.
Yeah, let's do 8.25. We'll just keep it on quarters unless we overlap. Then we'll figure that out.
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna jump to the next team. This next team is Forsen Jr. of the Maralifia, or Maralifia. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This is our Chien Pao team. We have Chien Pao, Slowking Galar, Gliscor, Tapu Fini, Infernape, Raikou, Tangela, Metagross, Porygon, and Haunter. Okay. This is some serious bulk in like these like 2 through 4 months. Glowking, Gliscor, and Tapu Fini. Yikes, man. I don't wanna break this team. It seems impossible.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got a very good potent defensive thing, and plus he's got Metagross there, just being able to Terra into a pretty good type.
You know what actually seems really scary? Steel Terra Metagross. Like, it's
just
like Steel Terra. Like you get to do what Scissor does. Steel Terra, Bullet Punch.
Mm-hmm.
You're just missing the Technician, but still, like 135 attack choice band. Don't like it. It seems scary. But yeah, gosh, I'm looking at this and it's like, how do you break the Glowking, Fini, Gliscor? These three are coming every week. There's no reason to not bring these three every week. And like Fini can run the demon sets.
Yeah. And you've got
Chien Pao is here to break, and Slowking has chilly reception.
Yeah. And making that Chien Pao that much harder to break. Again, talking about priority. You kind of have to, again, you can't, Bullet Punch is not going to hit as hard when you have the Snow Boost.
Yeah, Mach Punch.
Mach Punch the same way. Even though those are super effective, it's like, maybe you can't run those because they don't do enough.
You can, you just have to somehow wait out the snow. But then, like, there's other things, like, he's got Infernape and Raikou to do some like, pivots. Porygon can hopefully stop the menace of the horse, but actually Chien Pao's faster than it, so you just need
you're not as concerned about the horse. You've got at least something to kind of sponge the hit. Yeah, you're fine. You've got Sucker Punch on Chien Pao as well, in case the Spectrier Scarf.
Haunter's silly, but like, I don't know, you can always scarf it and just it's serviceable.
Still, like, Ghost Stab is still underrated. That's one of the things that people don't have enough coverage for, and if you bring in the right week, it could just decimate.
Yeah, it's a serviceable mon.
It's serviceable.
Okay,
it can do some work. Speaking of Ghost Week, this team is also fairly Ghost Week, but
that's true.
I think you could you're tearing Metagross out of the Ghost Week.
Terra normal?
You have Chien Pao, so I think you're okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Hazards are a little weak, but I guess Glow King has T-Spikes now, it's telling me. So, cool. But
Yeah,
only,
and I mean Gliscor's there; it'll set something up.
yeah,
Infernape can set something up too,
but the
and so is
problem is,
Metagross.
like,
Like you
if
got enough that I
Gliscor's
think you're gonna still set up.
if Gliscor's, yeah, you'll get rocks up, but like that really limits Gliscor if you're forced to like be the hazard setter every week. So it wants to have the flexibility to sword stance set, to do like Spadef roosting with toxic. Like it wants to do many different things. But yeah, like that's fine. A little those are my only really complaints. I think a spiker would have been nice. Like maybe instead of
Yeah,
Haunter, I would have liked a low point spiker, but maybe it doesn't come. Like Haunter's not going to come unless the matchup's right anyway, and I don't think a spiker would come either. Like those top four are coming like every week, maybe top five.
yeah,
Like
yeah. If
Infernape's
anything, you
insane.
could probably have just like Tangela. Yeah, Tangela also like yeah, it's a nice little regen core with Glow King and but yeah, it also just like it feels like it's gonna do some stuff, but I don't know how much. We'll see. We could see if it's gonna have some use, but maybe it could have been better consolidating Tangela, Porygon, Haunter into something else. But I think you still got such a potent 3+ Chien-Pao on the
Yeah,
top. I
this
think
team
you're fine,
feels
and Metagross as well. Like honestly, it's like
this team feels
you're
real
bringing.
strong, and you can't even like hazard stack against them because like Glowking and Feeny are totally happy to run boots too if it needs. Well, maybe not
Yeah,
Feeny so much, but like can't hazard stack Glowking. It'll just rock a boot. Like let's go. Um,
exactly.
so yeah, top half's really solid. It falls apart a little bit bottom half, but I think I like this more than the last team. That
Yeah,
defensive
I think it's a
backbone.
clear 8.5.
Yeah, I was thinking 8.5 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that defensive backbone's just sick.
Yeah, it's gross.
Okay. All right. So this next team, Law's team. This is the Montreal Torterras, and have a Roaring Moon, Mega Metacham, Heatran, Rillaboom, Garganacci,
Hmm.
Pokemon does it, Garganacl if you will, Crobat, Primarina, regular Hoopa, Fairy Bound, and Rotom Frost and Ice. Um,
Yeah.
just going in order here. What do I see? Another weak team on the hazard front, but two super reliable rockers. So like it's
Yeah,
not
the
like it's
defog
forcing
on this
one.
team is bad though. I mean, Crobat is like
Crobat's your
you
only
don't want to
real
run
one.
Crobat every week. Rotom Frost, you really don't want to. I
Yeah,
mean, you don't want to bring every week.
got some
And
Illumise.
Illumise is not a real defog.
You have some like prankster shenanigans where like maybe you run it because you're like I don't know what else. I've already used a slot on Thunder Wave. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. The Hoopa being the Terra is pretty interesting. Gonna get some silly things coming from that, so careful if you're prepping
50
against this
special
team.
attack is really strong.
Yeah,
And it removes its 4x weaknesses, which is very good.
yes. Other than that, Rillaboom's the same old mon. Rillaboom Heatran's a super solid core. I love it with the Roaring Moon. Like, just that, like with the dragon that go with it. Pretty cool, and
Mm-hmm.
Mega Metacham's just like the ultimate breaker. Um, so Prim goes nicely with this team.
It's a very good Firewater Grass core. It's a very solid Firewater Grass core and a Fairy Steel Dragon. Yeah, no, I think it overlaps pretty nicely in that. It's just, yeah, Hazards could be a little better.
Hazards could be a little better, but you have so many like pivoting options to like get in your big strong mons, and like the Heatran has like Scarf Eruption, and all you really need to do is get like Mega Metacham in or Prim or Heatran and go to town, or even like let's not overlook Roaring, like a banded Roaring Moon. Just kind of
Mm-hmm.
pivoting around like that's like you have to respect its setup so much sometimes that like banded sets can really start to run train over everything. But
I agree.
like Specs Prim is super deadly. I Yeah, I don't know. This team's really nice for a bit Hazard Week again and like weak defog options. But like
Yeah.
I love all the pivoting. I love the Garganacci. It's missing Terra, so it's not as good as it is on ladder, but you know, Salt Cure, Protect, Stealth Rock
No,
is
it's still
always
gonna
a
do
good
a lot.
set. Yeah, it's always a good set, but like stuck into Rock means it doesn't come every week.
Yeah, I think so. I think I think it's just this team is good, but it's just like I think it's missing something.
Yeah, I
Missing a
feel like
little that hazard control is what's gonna hold it
I
back. But
I feel
otherwise I think it's
yeah, I think the
has
hazard
some
control
potential.
is gonna force Crobat too many weeks that you don't necessarily want it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably gonna put this at like a 7 3/4. I like it better than some of the first teams, but it's not. Maybe 7.5.
I was thinking lower.
7?
Maybe I'm not as solid on
I
some of that, but
I
I
think the
think at
team's
least a
easy to
7.
play.
But
I think
that's
the
where I'm.
team's easy to play is where I'm getting at too. So
That's
I'll
fair.
do a 7. You sold me on a 7.
Yeah.
Like I really like the pieces. I think yeah, I just don't think there's enough hazards there to really kind of set up for the Rillaboom because
Yes. Set up for the Medicham. Well, I guess also.
Rillaboom's
Yeah.
your easiest cleaner this team. But like if
I
you
forget you get Trailblaze Medicham, no, don't we?
you do, but like
That makes it a
things like
little better,
Celesteela and
but
Corv,
still.
like only really Heatran's shaking them out because like Rotom Frost isn't going to. Um, so I think the Steel Flyings are going to be a struggle for this team as long as those
Yeah.
Steel Flyings have a Heatran answer.
Yeah, that's true. Because Heatran's gonna be a lot of yeah. Because Heatran and because then your other options Rotom Frost, and that's neutral to any steel stabs. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So okay, let's
yeah,
pop in
yeah.
the
No,
next team. This is Sambo Lambo of the Bay Area Blacephalons. And you want to take us through the team, Shark?
all right. We've got Iron Valiant, Zeraora, Corviknight, Vaporeon, Victini, Crocodile, Megapidgeot, Dragalge, Lycanroc Midnight, Celio, and Buffalant.
All right. Well, it has Buffalant. That'll stop the um, what do you call it? The Spectrier, and Celio will stop Iron Bundle. Cool. Hey, go
Yeah,
next.
you got. Well, you know they're coming. At least they have. There's some utility there.
This is another team without um a spiker. I don't.
Without a spiker,
I
with low
we,
rocks, like you got
this is
brute for
our
rocks.
this is our
Yeah, this
fifth.
is I think worse.
Yeah,
Control,
this
but
is
you
our
got Corviknight.
this is our fifth team, and we've had one spiker. That's a Maractus.
Yeah,
That like that's not good or bad. It's just is.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's look at this team a little objectively. We have a round 5 Vic team, which is pretty cool. Um,
Good
yeah, they're
momentum, very good momentum. Not good hazard control except for Corviknight. Corviknight is the hazard control,
yeah.
but it is a good. I mean, if you're gonna have a defogger, Corviknight would be one of the ones I would want. So it's fun. I think it's okay, not as great.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Dragalge as a Terra is weird because if you Terra into like Thunder for Thunderbolt, lose adaptability on your Dragon and Poison move.
but you get it on your electric move.
Do get it on your Electric, but if you like Poison Terra and Sludge Wave instead of ×2, it's 2.25.
Yep, it gets extra.
Does get extra. So it's a weird little mechanic, and that's why it makes it weird. I don't know enough to say if it's good or bad yet as a Terra, but
Dragalge has good coverage, which makes it, I think, a good Terra in general.
yeah, I think so. And it has a pretty decent special attack, 97. So it's like Okay, so it's nothing to write home about, but it's not pathetic either.
Yeah.
So,
The
okay.
one thing I'm seeing about this team, it kind of lacks some big pop power. I mean, yes, you have Victini with V Create, and but like Iron Valiant is like your really kind of your other big breaker that you can like band or specs or give a boosting move to. I mean, Mega
Yeah,
Pidgeot isn't like, yeah, it's 135, but isn't, but you don't have an item, so
yeah.
it's kind of like you don't get that extra power out of it, so it's not as
So,
good.
so it kind of feels like every week, Valiant, Pidgey are gonna have to try and break for Zero Aura, and that,
Yeah,
that's
like
tough. No,
it just kind of
I was noticing the same thing. Like this team is lacking that initial oomph. It has a lot of
just doesn't.
survivability as the game goes on between Corv and Vaporeon, but like,
It's going to rely a lot on those two to be the survivability, but otherwise it's going to have to rely on setup or other stuff to really kind of.
which isn't impossible, but I think a lot of you. Well, we'll see how NatDex kind of shakes out, but I'd imagine quicker pace of Gen 9 carries into NatDex, and at a quicker pace, if you don't have something to get that immediate damage, it can be very tough. So I think this team's going to be lacking for damage without, because like the hazards aren't great, as you already said, and so
Yeah, and you want the if you don't have the power, you need the hazard to just push this momentum. You've got a lot of momentum, and yes, you can force switches,
yes,
but
and
you want some chip as you force the switches.
yeah, so like in light of that, like you have survivability. Core Vaporeon is going to be incredibly difficult to break, but like they're not immortal. But Vaporeon does have Calm Mind now, and that's a demon set.
Yeah, I
So
think there's a Calm Mind. Yeah, no, it could do the full demon Calm Mind, Acid Armor, Stored Power.
yeah, so all right, it does have the survivability, but I think in a faster paced game, it may struggle to do breaking first, and if it gets broken first, then like it's gonna be really hard to come back from. So I think for a team like this, um, I'm just
And
not
so,
super sold on it. So to kind of keep it different than the last one is probably like a 6, 7.
yeah, I would say so. Something along those lines. It's
Like
still good. Like there's
like
still some good pieces here, but they
yeah,
just
like
don't quite.
it's not a bad team. I just know I have to differentiate the ranking from a previous one, and I do like it a little less than the previous one.
Yeah, I
That's
agree
all.
for sure. Maybe even a little more less, but we'll see. But I think 675 is fine.
Yeah. All right. So next up is APP, a person team, the Stockholm Stonejerners. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's had that name for a little while. So let's see, what do we got here? We have the Mega Gallade, the Goldengo, Tinglu, Rotom Wash, Salamence, the Rude, Suian Arcanine, Romatisse, and Tentacruel. All right. All right. This team's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
this one
like
I
the.
think has some
I love
potential
the
here.
Tinglu, Goldengo. So
Yeah,
just
that's a pretty disgusting duo. You definitely like again not a ton of hazards, but Tinglu's coming every week, so you've got enough with there.
Tinglu's such a hazard bot that like this may sound a little hypocritical. I can almost look the other way for not having any other good hazard setter.
Yeah,
Um,
it's so fat.
yeah,
So fat, and you actually got aromatisse here as well to feed it, which is really good.
the Rockhead Hisuian Arcanine's really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You've got decent hazard control. Renomosh is fine to be a defogger, and you've also got Tentacruel as well if you need to some weeks. So you've got
yeah,
some little bit of versatility.
it's
Like
pretty
I think
weak
it
on
ends
the
up working
momentum though.
fine. It's not the most amazing, but it's like it'll work. I'm good with it.
Yeah, this team falls a little flat on lack of momentum. Like you have Zarude and Rotom Wash, and Zarude's not super great at being momentum. It's okay. but like the ability to come in, take a hit, then get out, it can be tough for it. But like Rotom and like so lack of momentum for a team like this means that Mega Gallade is gonna like struggles to get in safely. So Mega Gallade now has agility, and so you can double dance, and like if you double dance, it's all over. But if you're struggling to get it in, it can be really hard to get the double dance off.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
I could definitely see that. No, but I think,
I think
yeah,
I
I
think though
think
in
a
terms
speed
of
tier as well is kind of
it's a
interesting.
slow
It's
team.
like, yes,
Yeah,
it's a
this is
slow, but it's also not too slow,
I,
which is weird to say because then your base, like, there's nothing between 84 and 45, so those base 60s and all those stuff can go bulky.
yeah, and that can be tough
You can
to
have some weird. You
break.
can have that where you can have this weird trick room team, like, oh, trick room, but with Tyranitar as your breaker. You know, like,
Yeah, so
yeah, it's kind of,
like this team's kind of like lacking some special power too. Like Goldango's like your only real special hitter. Um, I
it's
Salamence
bulky, but it's
can, but
balanced.
so is Goldango gonna be max special attack every week when it has to sometimes do defensive stuff? Maybe. Has nasty plot, it can, but yeah, I'm not super wowed by the speed tiers either. Um, like Scarf's a rude. It cries out for help. Um, like who do you scarf on this team if you need some speed? Goldango, Rotom Wash, they both kind of work. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, this team just has a lot of cool individual pieces, but like taking a look at it all together right now, it just feels like it's leaving some holes of like how do you actually get mods in? Like, I mean, if you play like a god and like get some sick double switches in, game's over. Like, if Sui and Arcanine or Mega Glade um, hits the field for free, it's
yeah.
all done. Like,
You could use Tinglu to force some bad situations to, if you can call the right setup, you could do the double switch you're talking about, whether it's into Mega Gallade or Goldingo at the right time. You know,
yeah,
as
I
they
think,
switch in to their Tinglu counter, you bring in something else that would, check it, and then you go and be able to set up and start going to town there.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think this has a high ceiling, low floor team. The speed tiers with 110 being your max is gonna be tough. Um,
110, and it's not, and it's a mega,
yeah,
so he
so
can't go
like,
faster,
so
except for, well, agility. But yeah,
Zarude's your best bet for a Scarfer. Like, everything else is kind of silly. I wouldn't want to Scarf Arcanine and Scarf Salamence. I wouldn't want to do that either. I'd just rather just Dragon Dance.
but I think still his team is really balanced and really bulky that they can switch in and eat a hit or two a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So
So
it kind of
where'd you put this? I'm
works.
struggling to kind of put this one because like I kind of like it and then I kind of don't.
Probably like a 7.
Sure.
I think it a little better than the other team.
Do you like it better than the other
We just
seven?
had
Or do we only have
I
one
think we're
seven?
right about that. Yeah, I
Ah,
think we're
okay.
right at the 7.
All right.
Just
Uh,
needs probably if there was any change, maybe see if Salamence, because I know that's a big pointer. Maybe if Salamence could break up and some other potential pieces could help.
yeah,
But
I don't know.
that might be the one that's like, if that could swap somewhere, I don't know. But it's kind of, we'll
Also,
have to see.
this team I think um will really get worn down by the horse. Like,
Oh,
I know one mon
yeah,
isn't the end
you've
all
got
be all to judge a team.
Aromatisse. Aromatisse can deal with
Oh,
Ghost Horse.
right, right, because you can Terra it. All right, no, it's fine. It's totally
Yeah,
fine.
no, Ghost Horse not an issue, and Iron Bundle again. I mean, you got Tentacruel, which actually could eat a freeze dry,
Yeah. So all right,
so
cool.
I think you're
Let's move
fine.
on. Let's move on. That'll be a 7. The next team is Jeg's team. Um, he changed his name or he's
Yeah,
Portland.
Jag
No,
57
he's
with
still the
the,
Portland Pins. Very good.
yep.
We have Tornadus Therian, Annihilate, Iron Moth, Sylveon, Mega Aggron, Vikavolt, Quagsire, Superior, Obstagoon, and Mr. Rhyme. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Good speed tiers all around. Has actual good hazard play. Um, Quag is the man. Um,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Quag's got a lot of good toys now.
he's got decent removal between a spinner and
Terra Vikavolt is gonna kind of scary.
yeah,
Kind of scary.
it is a bit scary. Let's see some agility throat spray sets. Come on, you know you can do it.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I I think Annihilate. It doesn't. Uh, the bulk up taunt set's still really spooky. Um, I'd be a bit scared by it.
Yeah, I think he's got a good team around it though. I think
I
he's got
really
Iron Moth and Torn T can push specially.
yeah I really like this team. Um,
And Vikavolt too. So I think it's like
Great
it's set up.
momentum.
I think it's set up good
Yeah,
there. He's got the Mega Ag Sylveon. I love that duo. Quagsire as well. Yeah.
yeah I
Obstagoon
love
is a
this.
good
I love this
spec
team.
check.
Uh, good speed tiers. You have many options for Scarfers too. Like Scarf Annihilate was the craziest thing in the world. Scarf Obstagoon.
Mm-hmm.
So
No, I think he's got.
I dig this team. This is probably my favorite team that we've seen so far. It's hard to really kind of hold anything against it other than maybe just lack of immediate breaking power on the physical side. Like Mega Aggron's your highest hitter, and it's never gonna be running like 252 usually.
But it's
Like
body press off a 230 defense,
yeah,
so
so
it's still got something.
it's serviceable, but it's also physical. So like it isn't. I like the annihilate plus combat thing. Obstagoon gets guts, so it's like an automatic +1. Um, it's I and the special
Eh,
side's like really like Iron Moth just kind of gets through teams. I'm fine with that. Like the team kind of these
yeah.
this team kind of comes together in a much more natural sense than some of the others. So
Mm-hmm.
this is my favorite team so far, I think.
Yeah. So like an 8.75, a 9. How high are you on it?
I'd give it an 8.75, maybe a 9 until further notice. But like type wise, it's only missing Dragon, and that's that's not a big deal. Like,
That's honestly, well, let's see. What's this? Yeah, I mean,
I mean, he's weak to
yeah, I
fire.
guess, yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm looking at it a little closely here. It's like, yeah, he's got his ghost weakness is like his only ghost check is Obstagoon, so
yeah,
like that
so
could come be biting him in the butt one day. Fire's not great. Flying could be pending. I mean, you got one of the better flying stars actually, so that kind of
yeah,
neutralizes it.
I like I said,
Yeah,
I like the team.
yeah, yeah. No, I still think it's fine. Yeah.
All right, let's jump to the next. This is Crimfinity, and it's the Rocket's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
This is Dragapult, Mega Scissor, Landorus Therian, Clefable, Volcarona, Mienshao, Ditto, Regirock, and Zoroark.
All
Um,
right. U-turn. That's a lot of U-turn
wait,
and a lot of it.
who,
Yeah, no.
wait,
Momentum. Yeah, no, you're good.
who doesn't have momentum on this? How does
It's
Terra
against
Ditto
rock.
work?
So how Terra Transform works is that you specify going into the battle what your Terra type is. You can't copy your opponent's Terra type.
Gotcha. Okay, that
So,
that
but
clears
you
it
can
all up.
absolutely this is going to be an interesting one. I'm very curious how Terra Ditto is going
So
to perform.
if you're Terra Fairy Ditto and you Terra, and you switch out, come back in, do you stay Fairy even after you transform again?
God, I
I'd assume
I
so.
would assume so. I really need to see that now action to really gauge. But yeah, I still think I think this is a
That's
really
probably
good.
how it works.
It's
Um,
probably
so but this is a team where like you can almost ignore those last two mons in a way. Uh, like you get away
he's
with those
bringing
top.
the first. He's bringing the first four every week, and then he's probably bringing Ditto, and then he's bringing whatever of Volcarona Mienshao he wants. Maybe
I
he'll
mean,
use Ditto at home occasionally, but I
yeah,
would want to play with
the,
this thing. I'm very
those
curious.
last three is a situation. First six kind of remind Gen 8 OU team in a way. Just change out
Yeah,
Manchow for better fighting. But like, um, so he has plenty of setup between the Pult, Volk, and Scissor. So that's not an issue. Like two good rockers and Clef and Landorus, but like no other hazards of which to speak of. So this is all in on like the top 6.5 mons.
I mean,
Uh,
you're still rocks. Having one rocks is fine. It's not the most amazing, but it's fine. Defog, you've got
just
defog
missing
available on the same
so
mons.
much. Like, look, there's no water. If it's electric,
There's
grass,
no bulky
ice,
water, huh? Yeah.
or
Oh
even
God,
or
your
even an
water
offensive
spam.
water. Like what takes water hits? Nothing. Pult
Yeah,
technically, but um,
that's no.
yeah,
And
this is
ice
really
is still like a weakness on this team. I think Volcarona is not. I mean, yeah, like a water ice is
yeah. I think this team needs help.
yeah.
uh,
But at the same time, I don't
this
think it's the
it's not
worst.
bad. No, it's
It's
not.
as good as the first four are,
Yeah,
and I think the first
it's
four
not
can
bad, but
do
like there's
enough.
there's gonna be like
But
almost some unplayable matchups because like the water spam's just too heavy or something like that, and like cool, yeah, can't play this game. Um, other than that, I think the team's serviceable. Probably if it's in that same vein, just throw it in with the seven, and when we get to the end with all the sevens, we'll just arbitrarily pick ones above the other.
yeah, I think it's in that range of just like whether if you really don't like it, it can go in the 6, 7, 5. But I think 7 is about where it's at. It's just like that's a really good four,
Yeah,
but
no,
that's just
it's
it. It's a
really
really good four, and the rest is fine. It just how well he can use it and how well Terra Ditto does in a league where you couldn't Terra the big mons. He has access to your best mon as a Terra, which that
yeah.
is can be a threat.
I'm really excited to see how that plays out. Like if he gets, Taro Water Iron Bundle with a scarf or something. That
Yeah.
that that I'm excited to see it play out. Like this is an exciting team. I don't mean to like knock it too much.
Mhm.
It's just I think there's just gonna be some matchups that are just almost unplayable.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
anywho,
The water weakness, honestly, I think is the lowest of the sevens. Honestly, water
uh,
and fairy.
so we missed the Terra Captain on this one because it's almost certainly not Mega Deontay.
Oop, that would be.
Yeah, I was gonna guess that or the Braviary. But so for this team, this is Sound of Snow. Do you have his team name?
That is the Heart Home Haunters, I believe. Yep,
Yeah,
Heart Home
very cool.
Haunters.
So he has a Mega Deontay, Zapdos, Latios, Kartana, Melmetal, Blacephalon, Glacier, Braviary, and Water Tauros. Um, oh yeah, this is this team, man. It's got the Paperclip Clown. Um, all in on that. So we do not want for power in a way. Uh,
Yeah, look at that. Oh my God, look at that physical power. Look at 129,
wow.
and
Um,
there's that's
having
stupid.
said that, this is a team. This is like as hard offense as it gets. Like Mega Deontay being your only hazard play is a little spooky. Everything else is just here for
He's got
Kartana and
defog to
Blacephalon.
keep things under control, but it's not.
That
But I mean,
I
yeah,
honestly think like why don't waste the turn on defog? Do something to like set up Kartana Blacephalon, because those are your
Mm-hmm.
game enders. And like they're here to support each other. So
Mm-hmm.
everything else plays around that. Like this is almost as true of a
I have
hard
to see.
offense this team as you can get, where like the whole
The
point of
one
like
thing that this team, oh, that's not great.
what
Is one I was checking to see.
the
He
trick
only
room.
has one trick room, and that would be his Mega Diancie again.
Um,
Because if he had a trick room with this Glacier Melmetal, yeah, that would be super good. But it's a weird. His speed tiers are all clumped.
yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna definitely be able to scarf one of those top guys easy enough. Your defensive core is basically Latias, Melmetal, Zapdos, which isn't the
Gladius Melmetal's like
bad,
super cool together.
and
Um,
Tauros occasionally, but
yeah, like Lottie Melmetal's super cool together. But this is a team I don't personally see how it works unless like the player really like balls out with it. Just because this is on such a knife's edge week to week, and if you like let off the gas even a little bit, um, I mean you're gonna lose. But
there's some
having said
scary
that,
things this team can
oh,
do. That's the
having
thing.
said that, like you you can't like playing against it. Like even if you're trying to force it to be a slow game, like playing against it, it's like you can't give him any free turns. Because then like Hartana gets a Swords Dance or Blacephalon gets a like a free hit and like it does 40% and weren't expecting that. So like I think it's going to be really hard to play against it. So like having said that, I think because it's an Acolyte, like this is a team that like almost has like an inverse curve. Like as you get to the mid divs, it probably does worse and then it gets better on lower and high divs. So like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna personally rate
curious.
it as an 8.5 because I think
Oh wow, you're really that high? I'm
I,
surprised you're rating it that high. I
I
thought you were like with the hazard. I thought we were gonna cut it down a little bit lower,
I
but
you can convince me, and we'll probably split the difference in our two rankings here. Just
I think we could push it down to an 8, and I think we both think that's fair. Like if
yeah,
you really think if you really, I could see it like it's a very boom bust team.
yeah.
It
I can
depends on how
live with
good
an
the
8.
power is. The power is going to make this the power and the sweeping capability of Blacephalon and Kartana just to clean up.
I can
Yeah,
absolutely live with an 8. Like totally works for
yes.
me.
If it had a like if the Zapdos wasn't defogging, if it was something like, God, that was like even if it was like a Dawn fan, honestly, it's like a ground type just to just an extra hazard or something. Then maybe like that makes it that much better. Like
Yeah,
just get another hazard so that Mega Diancie can actually be able to do the things that it wants to do instead of just clicking a Stealth Rock one turn or a Spike. Give it the turn to set up.
no, I agree. Okay, so that's enough on that team. We're gonna go to Corbreb's team. Um, this is the Toronto Machamps.
Mm-hmm.
We have Palafin, Meowscarada, Glamora, Orthworm, Kyurem, Skeledirge, Dachshund, Weenie Dog,
Mm.
Mudsdale, Kilowattrel, Komala, and Glade. Alright, it's got the Kilowatt as Terra, GG, fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's got good. It's a pretty good one to have.
I like it. I think it's a great Terra. I saw someone
Oh yeah.
else do it in another league, and I was like, oh, I wish I would have thought of that first. It's much better than like whatever Terra I picked up for that league.
Yeah, if it could have if it could run Terra Blast, it's even better. But honestly, like even then, just electric flying is a good combination. It does have Weather Ball, but
Yeah,
though this team doesn't have weather to really take advantage
no,
of it. But honestly, still, like I mean, it's like a Jolteon.
yeah,
Like it's fast, it'll hit hard.
it's
It can
Zapdos.
occasionally
It's
roost and be
Zapdos without
defensive.
the yeah, it's Zapdos without the defensive bulk.
Hmm.
Um, Now let's see. Let's take a look at the rest of the team. Got Kamala, so it's a goated team. It's amazing. Um, so
Yeah, I mean, it's got some lot of good, like some good momentum pieces here, especially with you have Shed Tail Earthworm as well.
yeah,
Skeledirge is a very good bulk. Dockspun, I honestly like it as a good value fairy. Mudsdale is a very good value ground. Kamala is a pretty good ground.
yeah, it's got some good
So
value into the defensive pieces. I'm not convinced on the Palafin. Like I was super high on it, and I feel like it's just kind of been falling short. But
yeah, for me, like I've kind of had it's been okay for me using in draft leagues. I'm curious to see how this team does with it. I think there's some potential here, but
yeah,
we
I
will.
think I think it's got ways to get
There's
it
good.
in.
There's good enough hazard to let it be able to run the jet punch sets a lot easier.
Yeah, this team does not lack for hazards. Like Lamora
It's
can
a
get them
good,
up,
and
and
it's some
so
good
can
ones
Orthworm.
too.
Uh, Skeledirge, still a great mon. It's hurt a little bit without the ability to Terra, but like that's fine.
You know, I think it's a pretty solid team. It's not gonna like it's not gonna scary us. Like I mean, offensively, it's Palafin, Kiram, you know, Scarada, and like some other pieces that can be scary, but it's kind of like I'm not like scared off the first. They're not the things I'm like spending my time
Yeah,
trying to like prep all day for.
yeah.
But I know Gallade down there is a very scary mon because of
Especially with
sharpness now.
sharpness, yeah. Like what a cool buff for it, honestly.
But I
Um,
mean, it's a good firewater grass core. I think there's some good pieces here.
Mega Galade's like wondering, yo, can I get sharpness too? My little sword
Yeah,
arms are sharper.
yeah, yeah. I think it's probably like a 7.5.
I think so. I think this is like a really solid team. I think honestly, if we were to recorded this last week, I would have like done an 8 or an 8.25 because I would have been like, yeah, Palafin and stuff. Like enough games have happened since then, or maybe like 2 weeks ago. But like it like the Palafin like, I'm sorry, you're hitting the bias of like I'm real low on Palafin these days, which is probably a wrong take, just overreactionary. But well, here we are. Okay, so we're gonna move into the next team. This is Farmer Fox. It's the Eccleshall Entes. We have Tapu Koko, Celesteela, Halucha, Mamoswine, Porygon Z, Iron Thorns, Dhelmise, Gastrodon, Bronzong, and Sableye. So what I'm seeing that I like, this is like old school team. Koko, Halucha. Um,
Mm-hmm. It's got good ground. It's got one of the obvious Terras that we all think about with this game. It's Terra, normal, Pori, Z, adaptability,
only gets one
analytic
Terra ability.
shenanigan.
Yeah, it only has one Terra ability. It's all it needs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so some so I like the main pieces on the team. Having said that, some obvious gaps in the speed tier, like we go from 118 to 90. That's
It's
rough.
interesting. But it's kind of, but at the same
Serviceable.
time, it kind of you still kind of have to kind of play around that because you have things like rock polish. So, or do we are we allowing rock
Yes.
polish? Yeah,
Yes.
rock polish or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So then, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought. It's like because I know it's like not on any mons in this game right now. They
Yeah,
took it out a
it's
couple of movesets, but no, if it gets rock polish, then yeah, rock polish, Celesteela is dangerous, or and
this team
kind of
doesn't.
forces you to prep around that 110 speed tier.
Yeah.
So
So
like Dragon Dance Iron Thorns forces you in that same ish speed tiers. So you still kind of have to put some speed up there, but I
yeah.
mean, yeah, it's
Um,
still a gap. If you're
I think because of the Coco, I wanted to see some more focus on like picking up Iron Mons that with the Quark Drive. I
you
think
got Thorns.
Thorns is good. I think Thorns is actually really good with. Coco, because then you just get the immediate boost with the electric
Honestly,
stab.
Scarf Iron Thorns with that honestly could be really scary.
Yeah, because like, um, I mean, it was a bit of a meme, but like your electric gym team was like Finchurchin with Iron Thorns or something like that. Maybe it was
Yeah, I had
Iron
Iron Hands on
Hands.
that team
But like
for
the
sure. But
idea is
yeah,
the same. Like, so that can be a kind of cool thing. Mamoswine's gonna do Mammoth. This team can definitely win games. I think
yeah,
it's just a solid team. Like I'm not blown away going, wow, this team just has everything it needs. Like I think if Porygon Z kind of falters a little bit, it's gonna really struggle on the special side. Like
yeah.
there's nothing like that's really gonna break in a special way. Celesteela can never do it. Coco kinda can, but
It's relying on the terrain and the electric move. If it's
and
not
even
spamming
with
electric move,
and even
Deaglium
in
is not it.
today's yeah, and even in today's like ecosystem, if it's gonna break special, it really needs like specs. Um,
Yeah,
but so probably a 7.5 team for me.
I'm good with that.
Like it's got great hazards and stuff, but I think
There's enough good pieces I like, but it's just like it's just like it needs a little bit something. So yeah,
yeah,
no, I'm good with
like
that.
these mid mons just aren't coming
Or,
together the way that like really kind of stands out to me. I love the Gastrodon Bronzong defensive core. Like this is like a pretty low um momentum team to get in your big heavy hitters. So like you get that many less attacks from them, and if you don't break with like the Thorns Mammoth, Coco can't clean up, um, or Celesteela can't clean up. Like it just makes
mm-hmm.
it that much harder. Not impossible, but again, just a smidge harder.
Yep.
Okay, next up we have DD12345 of the Phoenix Solgaleos, and here we have you, Landorus. Here, I gotta skip the song. That has words in it. Landorus, Ferrothorn, Slitherwing, Ninja, Weezing Raichu, Giruddagon, Miltank, Oricorio, and Chargebug. Oh, it's got Taco
So
Wing.
yeah, it's got a very like first of all, he's got like all the check boxes, all the hazards, all the defog, all the momentum. Like he's got a lot of those just right off. Good mons there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
he,
like some good power too. Like I like the Greninja because it's allowed to do Protean now with the nerf. Um,
mm-hmm. It's got that. And it's got Oricorio. I think is good here because it actually can Terra and have Terra Blast in the form of Revelation Dance.
mhm.
So it's
So
got good coverage there. So it
well,
can do
I I think it's still stuck to whatever types you're in.
Revelation
Um,
Dance turns into whatever your Terra type is.
is that how that works? I was under
That's
the
how it works. It
I was
has a
under the
glow basically.
I
Yeah.
I was under the impression that like if you were the like Ghost Oricorio, it stayed Ghost even if you tear it to a different type.
Nope. If you Terra ground your Oricorio, it'll be Revelation ground.
Okay, perfect. All right, that helps kind of round out the team quite a bit because I'm looking at this and like other than Landorus and I guess Slitherwing, like a lot of it's missing a lot of immediate breaking power.
That's
Like,
really the big thing. It's not breaking hard immediately,
but
but
it's
it's
a
gonna.
super
But this is
bulky
a
team.
team that has the
Oof.
hazard play and the
Has a
right
lot of
defensive
hazards.
pieces
Has
to
a lot.
probably be able to pull this off.
Has a lot of bulk to survive things too, and pretty good momentum. Like I, I'm pretty high on this team. This is a
I think so. This is the team that we're talking about. That if you
I'm
cannot break hard immediately, you want to be able to get the momentum game, and this team can do that with the hazard stack support.
yeah. This
So
is this team's it. I really like this team.
yeah,
Um,
Is it the best team or tied with the best team? What are you thinking?
I think so. I think it's the best team I've so far. I think like just with the varied amount of threats, breaking this is gonna be incredibly difficult. And if you wait too long to break the team, will get worn down enough that Greninja Lando can clean up.
Okay. Then yeah, 9.25 then I think is perfect
Perfect.
because just if Dredagon had had even more attack, I think would be perfect kind of thing. Just like if a few pieces could be like a little harder breaking, maybe Raichu or something. But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Coming up next, we have Robopup 27 of the Washington Wyandots. Wyandots, whatever. We have Garchomps, Loking, Arctozel, Serena, Bar, Togekiss, the Dunsparce, Karkle, and Dusknoir.
uh, yeah,
Oh,
no, this team's pretty
Stunfisk.
good, honestly.
No,
Uh,
it's the Dusknoir memes.
oh,
Oh man. No, Sneasler's cracked, dude. Like with Dire Claw. Oh my
mm-hmm.
gosh, it's so strong. Speed tier's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
Like
it has Arctozolt with Slush Rush
Slowking.
thanks to Slow King. Moltres Galar can dual dance with the Terra. I think this makes it even more potent.
I think that makes it really strong to go into. I mean, either one of your stabs. You can do defensive too. It's pretty bulky actually, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it's
90,
got the
90,
good stats. It doesn't have
125.
Roost, but I mean, if you tear the right type, you can trigger Berserk at the right way. Be able to
Yeah,
eat that hit
this is
confidently, or
another team
even
that
just
has a
yeah,
pretty good defensive profile. The Dunsparce, don't don't sleep on it. It's another super bulky mon. Um,
yeah. It does its thing. Carkol, I love the little rock fire
that's
dudes.
yeah. It's really
It's annoying at the right
it's
of the right mon. It's really annoying.
it's a great low tier value mon.
Mm-hmm.
This team has every type drafted too, so that's
Yeah,
another point in its favor. Maybe not positive or
it's
negative, but it is a point. Um,
yeah,
I think just in terms of winning games, like basic strategy of like suicide chomp to either break, get some hazards up, and then just start pivoting with like Scissor and Sneasler like for fast slow turn until it's Slow King in, and then get Arc in, and then you break and like Bolt
it
Beak's
has a
insane.
pretty good plan, and
Yeah,
it's definitely going to be like yeah. I think maybe a little better special breaking. Like Togekiss is fine.
it doesn't have
Moltres Galar
Moonblast,
needs
right?
help, but
That's just a Hisuian move, right? Like a
which one?
PLA. It doesn't have Moonblast anymore because that was a PLA move,
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
yeah,
don't think.
we lack a little bit of initial special breaking power, but Moltres Galar can make up for it with a nasty plot. So,
Exactly.
so that's probably the only thing. I think there's a barrier to execution for this team though that can be a little tough. To not throw away your Slow King too early, because that's your only way you're
Yeah.
getting snow up, I think, or hail, whatever.
Yeah.
I
No, no, it
I'm
might.
sure
I would bet you
Togekiss or
there's another
Deduns.
way. But let's
I
see.
bet Togekiss or Dunsparce has a way to put it. They'd be the weird mons that do it. But other than that, like I think the team's pretty strong. Garchomp's really good. Check Hail.
Uh, right. It might be inhale. Arctozolt itself.
Oh, it can set its
So yeah.
own hail. All right, so it does have a
So
backup.
yeah. No hail.
Um,
No hail. No snow. Just
but
on the slow king itself.
no, Arctozol can set hail in Nat
Oh,
decks.
yeah, of course. But
Yeah,
yeah.
like so, but the Garchomp's really strong too. It's another way to like just end games. Like I'm hoping to see someone this season do loaded dice Garchomp.
Oh yeah. No, I think that has some potency in leaks that it gets scale shot.
And it gets scale shot here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This isn't my top team, but this is one of my top teams. So like nine.
Probably like Oh,
We
up a
just did,
9?
if we did like 9 1/4 or 8 3/4.
8 and 3. I would say 8 and 3/4. I think there's still like I think it's you're gonna have to execute. And I don't like it has a pretty good game plan. It's very clear. Can it execute every week? We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I'm not as high, but I think 875 is fine.
All right. Yeah. Eight
Uh,
seven five's
But
pretty cool. All right. So let's close this out with Loads TD, who has low tier G Zapdos for their squad, which is a pretty cool name. Um, and on this team, we have Enamorus, Iron's Treads, Spectrier, Zapdos Galar, Cyclizar, Hisuian Samurott, Tangrowth, uh, Armarouge, and Garbardor. So,
yeah. Honestly,
top heavy team, man. I love it. I
is it? I think this might be the like one of the top teams here. I really like the top groups. I think cyclists are being able to shed tail into them is
Spec
really
and
scary.
Enamorus, yeah.
And Zapdos Galar,
I think
uh,
Enamorus in that dex has superpower too. I think it
yeah,
has
I
it
think
in
it
home.
does have it naturally. So
So
yeah, I think
contrary
it's gonna.
can actually be useful. Um,
Yeah,
you have Iron Treads is a great rocker. Samurott will set spikes for you.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like yeah, oh yeah, you're bringing Iron Treads every day and to collect rocks. Oh, but Samurott will just band itself or scarf itself into its searing edge or whatever it's called to be able
Hmm.
to set spikes constantly, and that thing is gross when you because it just sets multiple spikes consistently.
Armarouge is a cool Terramon, like to just hit Psychic and then, or Fire. Fire is the armor cannon move. That's, oof,
Mm, it's got a good nuke there.
yeah.
Weak armor could be able to pick the right type to trigger weak armor, and then it can just start reverse sweeping, which is not bad.
Then it has the Spectre. Spectre Zapdos is cool. Like strong, fast fighting types are like what Spectre loves, and like yeah, Spectre has Draining Kiss now, so like it isn't at the mercy of Darks forever, but like early on, you still need to put pressure and threaten Darks. And Iron Treads even has a potent like Iron Defense body press set. Um, Cyclizar is just gonna be passing substitutes them, so
Yeah,
it's tough. If
think
anything,
yeah.
hazard removal is a little weak on the team, so you're
But
playing
you've got
fast and
Cyclizar,
hard.
who is always going to probably carry Rapid Spin, and you've got Iron Treads, who's going to carry Rapid Spin a
Yeah,
majority of the time. Like, I don't like
momentum's also a little weak, but I
that one. I said a little bit, but you've got the best of them too at the same time. So it's
I
kind of.
I think this for me the second best team. So like
I
I'd put
think
it at a
I
nine.
would say that it's not if you it's not it's definitely top three for sure.
Yeah,
So I would
I think
say
it's just really strong because it plays to the Spectre so well, and you got the Spectre, or they got the Spectre round three, so like went up, down, and up again before. So
yeah. I
there's no
think this team is built really well for
yeah,
it.
there's
So
no glaring weakness I see. Like yeah, a little weak to flying, but so many teams are, and there's not a lot of
got it.
mons. Like so yeah, I'm a maybe like this is getting real nitpicky. Maybe like a special week, but like I don't know. You
Yeah,
can always do
it's like
AV
it depends.
treads or AV Tangrowth, and you'll feel okay with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a way. This team has a pretty good job of mitigating that. I think, yeah, it's Ice Week too.
Eh,
Like the top mons are all like don't resist ice, but I think you can do a decent job building against the situations. We'll see.
yeah.
We'll see. Like Iron Bundle could do actually. Iron Bundle could do some work against this team.
Yeah. So
If
I'd
but
still
if
put
this
this at
team
like a
lets it,
nine.
that's the thing.
I think
So
I'd
yeah,
put
I
this
think
at a nine.
yeah, it's a 9. It's almost like it's right there. Like I think this team could win it all, but we'll just have to see how well. Like if they play it right, the way it looks is this is gross. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Okay. So let's go over to our little cheat sheet here and see where everything kind of lines up. Oops. We're seeing this all in live. Oh, it's locked. We're gonna just make it small, and I'm gonna ask you to keep updating as we go, so you can see everyone's final positions as we rank them here. Give loads a DD a 9.1. So
Yeah,
it's
I think it's just
above
a
Jeg.
hair better than Jeg.
Yeah,
Just
I
a
think
hair.
so too.
I
And
think it's just top. Its mons are just the top 4 mons are just better than Jeg's top 4. Jeg's got depth and could be able to work around a lot of situations, but I think loads of D's is too powerful.
Agreed. And to split the other difference, I think I liked Krebeb's team a little bit better than Farmer Fox's. So let's give it a 7.6.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
the muddled.
I think a person's team was my least favorite of the 7. So we'll leave that at 7. Boz can be 7.1 and Crimfinity 7.2.
I'm not objectionable to that.
We just gotta make decisions. There are no ties. I refuse.
Oops.
0.27, not that low.
No, not the other direction. There we go.
All right.
And there you go.
So,
but I mean, all the teams are pretty close.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a terror. I don't think any team is that bad.
Yeah, so
and I think anything that we like, I think Sambo could easily fix his team.
I was gonna leave it at this. Like, these are our power rankings, but I don't think there's any like bad teams that I go, ooh, needs some work to even be playable. I think all these teams are playable, and I can see, I mean, with advantage, but I can see even like Sambo's team taking games off these top 3.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely possible. And at the end of the day, it's also how you play the team. So like I was super high on Sound of Snow's team, because I was like, oh, I like this hard offense.
Yeah, which that's
style.
a boom bust for me for sure.
And it kind of fits into my own biases. So like, take everything we just said with a grain of salt. But that's my closing things to say. Do you have anything, Mr. Shark?
No, I think everyone's got good teams. We'll see how it all shakes up out on the field.
All right. So if you've stuck with us this long, I want to thank you all for being a part of this, and we hope to see you on the next video.